Well, good afternoon, Marcus. First of all, thank you for joining me. And I'm going to do a brief introduction. I am Sri Sundram, Dean for the K. Tiedemann School of Business and Finance. And this is part of our Careers in Finance series. And we're going to talk with Mr. Marcus Wilson from Dynasty Financial Partners. Marcus is the Senior Vice President of Investments Platforms Management. And the conversation today is really about, Marcus, help us understand, what is your position? What do you do as part of your role?
Absolutely, and thank you for having me. It's an honor. So in my current role, I wear actually multiple hats in this current role as a senior vice president, but primarily I help oversee our strategic vendor relationships that help form and shape our investment platform for the financial advisors that are utilizing it. And part of that exchange is I have to make sure that I'm working with the advisors to best consult them so that they understand how to leverage those tools. And those tools could be research related, trading related, just general functionality for them to run analysis on their portfolios. And through those engagements with those advisors, I solicit feedback, right? Try to understand what's working, what's not working on our platform, what are the perceived holes from our advisors, which are our clients, essentially for Dynasty, and try to take that feedback and conduct a search to find new solutions and to bring them there to the advisors.
In that context, Marcus, tell us a little bit about what's the main business model for Dynasty Financial.
Yeah, absolutely. The main business, the core of it is to help independent financial advisors grow their practices. And so a lot of our advisors are coming from the traditional big, large, wirehouse banks, so such as Merrill Lynch or UBS and the likes, and they want to take their practice and go independent. And my firm, we help them do that. So we provide them back office and middle office services to help them run efficient practices.
Well, I can tell you, I'm sure when you were going through college, this is not what you had, envisioned where you're going to end up with, but you're being very successful. And could you help our students understand where you started off in college? I know you were a student athlete. Tell us a little bit about what the journey was from being a college student and athlete to where you are today.
Yeah, absolutely. So I was a scholarship athlete at University of Notre Dame. I played football there, and honestly, when I was there, I had hopes and dreams like most college football players, to go play professionally. So I had the opportunity to try out, and that didn't work. And so I ended up I actually had the blessing to play a year overseas back in my time. And after that year, I moved back to New York City, where I grew up and born and raised, and where I went to high school. And a lot of my mentors at the time, they were all in the financial services area. And through my conversations with them, they all said, all the lessons and the knowledge that I was able to acquire as a student athlete, it would best translate over to the financial services area, in particular wealth management, because if you have the opportunity to go into a training program and be essentially, to use the athlete term, coached, right? Learn the playbook. And from there, that journey could lead into a lot of different places, whether you would become a financial advisor, maybe a portfolio analyst, portfolio manager, operations specialist. There's a lot of different areas you could have gone, and that was most appealing to me.
That's fantastic. Where you really have taken the skill set that you gained as an athlete, and you're able to transfer that to, your current position and the journey you took to financial planning. And the mentors, the role that the mentors played. So with that in context, we have several undergraduates that are going through college just like you, and several who have also are trying to reset their career from one to another. And they started off a career in one area, but they decided, hey, I want to be maybe in financial planning, which we know financial advisors, quite a few of them will reset their careers. So what advice do you have for our undergraduate students that are considering financial planning? And what are some key skills as well as personal attributes that'll be helpful for them to be successful in this profession?
Yeah, absolutely. I would say for me is be curious and stay curious, right? Try to understand. So in my particular case, I gravitated towards operations because I was so I was so curious to understand how things worked, why things weren't efficient, and how we can make it better to ultimately have the end result, which is the best result for the end client, right? And so I would always say if you're curious, you want to make sure that you're doing what's best for your client, right? And so starting there will, I think, guide you on how to best to really shape out your career.
Well, Marcus, thank you so much for participating in this. Your advice, your willingness to share your story will help many of our students as they look at financial planning and a journey within wealth management. So truly appreciate your time, and thank you again, and wish you all the best.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for having me.